Double honors unto the apostles of the Great Millstone that teach and rule well. As always, peace and salutations to the elect. We're the brothers from the Great Millstone Dallas camp coming back at you on another Friday. Prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, America, known as Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, according to the book of Revelations. All right, to let you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans know that you are the true chosen of Israel. All right, you're God's chosen people, and that salvation, all right, is for you and you only. All right. And this thing is not based upon the skin color as well, because our people have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, man. You see, and with our people being scattered, all right, we mixed and mingled among the heathen nations, all right, and the man of our nation had children, all right, with the daughters of the other nations, therefore bringing forth other Israelites, all right, who may look like actual heathen nations, but their spirit goes back unto one of these progenitors on his sign, man. You see? So skin, all right.
This is Romans chapter 8, verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So people try to ask your fathers to be able to prove that you know, from the nation of Israel, like you say. Well, guess what? This is a faith-based thing. Okay, when Yahushua came on the scene, all right, he opened this thing up to those who believe in him. And guess what? The only ones who are capable of that are those who are who have the spirit, okay, of Yahushua dwelling within them. Because what did Yahushua say? I believe that's in John the 6th chapter, where he said that the Most High is a spirit, or is that chapter 4?
It's about John 6, about the spirit that quickeneth.
They which worship him must worship him in spirit.
In spirit and truth. Yep.
You know, that could be chapter 4. But yeah, you know, that's what he said. All right, because ultimately this is about having faith in the Lord, man. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You got something on my
I got this real quick. This is John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So this is a spiritual thing that we entered into. We don't need no records. We got the records right here in the Bible because the Lord set it up that way, because he know man was going to come up with some DNA type crap to try to find your lineage. But you can't do that with the spirit. You can't tap into the spirit unless the Lord allow you to tap into the spirit, you see? So the spirit is what make you alive, where you start to understand and see through the spiritual lens that we are those people that the Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
And there's indicators throughout the Bible to let you know that if you're looking at it through a spiritual lens.
I got it, the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
This is St. John 4 and 24. It says, the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if you don't have this truth, man, this thing of ours, all right, the spirit of Yahushua dwelling, all right, supping with you. If you're not washed by the water of the word, okay, if you're not renewed in your spirit, then you're not going to be able to teach this, you know, this song, man. This, you know, to sing this new song. That's only for the elect, 144,000. You know, and on that note, man, when it comes to salvation, okay, because that's another thing that this devil wants to obscure, all right, from the vision and from the minds of our people, is the way that we're going to be delivered up out of this place.
Right.
Okay. You know, we're talking about the chariot, so I'm going to get that real quick. All right, that's missions is here in Isaiah chapter 31 and verse 4. All right, it says, for thus hath the Lord Yahweh spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice. All right, think about that scene. You know, you got a young lion, like, you know, a Mufasa or, you know, a Simba, you know, basically not being afraid of, you know, maybe you got a handful of shepherds trying to fend them off. That lion ain't gonna fear 3 or 4 men. Okay, you know, he gonna protect his, you know, his territory, right? All right, that's how the Lord's gonna be protecting his woman. Okay, right. Continuing on in verse 4, it says, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. See, that's what the Lord, He's going to come and vindicate us, man. All right, that's what we have faith in. And it's going to be through the chariots.
Right.
Okay?
All right, this Isaiah, back your point up, Isaiah 31:5, as birds flying. So, okay, damn, that was
That's the next verse. Go ahead. That's
Isaiah 31:5, it says, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem, defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
See? So like a bird flying over your head. Now, we got airplanes now, all right? But, 100 plus years ago, we didn't have that.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So the chariots of the Lord really is the way that the Lord is going to deliver Israel, man. All right, it says as birds flying. Okay, He will defend Jerusalem, and it's not the first time that the chariots have defended Israel, man. Okay, It's happened various different times during the book of Exodus. Okay, the Lord sent angels during the time of the Assyrian Empire. All right, to destroy the heathen nations. Okay, even when we were wandering in the wilderness for those 40 years, the chariots of the Lord was present. Okay, so we gotta tap into that spirit, man.
Right.
Right? We gotta believe that we were, the descendants of those people.
Right. Hey, when you look at the history, to back your point, when you look at the history, the Lord always, those chariots were always a part of the army of Israel. Back to the point of, they would always go out. David wrote songs about it when you read in 2 Samuel about the chariots going before him. You know what I'm saying? And scattering the enemies. You see, that's gonna happen once again in these times, man.
Right.
Just to back, I want to get that word for preserve, bro. In that verse, Isaiah 31:5, that word for shall preserve is Psalm 44:22. Malat. It says malat. All right, but when it says to slip away, to escape, to save, to be delivered, it says when you go down into the Strong's definition, it says to release, to rescue, to emit sparks. So those chariots are going to be shooting out sparks. Hey, David talked about that, man. See, David talked about how the chariots were blasting the enemies, man. You see, these same vehicles, it's going to be we're going to have an aerial defense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, for the elect, man. Yahweh Shah promised what? Yahweh Shah promised deliverance and protection. Psalms 91. You see, 2 Ezra chapter 16. The Lord's going to guide His elect. You see, through these perilous times, man. So when danger comes the elect way, you best believe divine intervention is going to be right there to protect the elect, man.
Right.
You see, my servant shall eat. We don't know how, but we don't know how we're going to eat in the times we're coming into. But the Lord said we're going to eat. Somebody got to eat in order to be delivered, man.
Right.
You see? But you got that, bro?
Matthew 24, verse 31. And He shall send His angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together His elect.
Right. Going into the deliverance, man. You see, so the Lord, these angels are going to be a part of the elect's journey, all right, especially during these end times, when the time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. These angels are going to be amongst the elect, wherever they are on the four corners of the earth, man.
Yep.
You see, leading all the way up, and stepping in when need be, bringing, making shit happen for the elect, to get them out of danger, to bring food their way. You see, to play on the minds of these people who got the image. The Lord may put the spirit on a nigga who got the mark to give you some food, man. You see, the Lord can change the countenance, so he controls the people. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it's all kind of ways that the Lord is going to preserve His elect in these times, man.
That's right.
Isaiah 59, verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai shall lift up a standard against him. All right? Because that's what ultimately is going to happen. Okay? If we're not protected by the Lord, it's going to be like an overflowing flood, trying to, trample us and drown us, man, of the enemies. Because our enemies, we're in the hand of our enemies right now. Okay, right now, the sword of the Lord, which is the wicked, they talk about that in Psalms, 17, right?
Yeah.
The sword of the Lord, all right, is being used ultimately to chastise Israel, including the elect.
Right.
Okay, so, but guess what? It says, again, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So what's that standard? Ultimately, Yahweh Shai. He's going to come in and deliver, all right, his elect, man.
That's right.
Okay? And it's going to be to the preservation of, those who stood stiffly for his name, all right, and to the destruction of those who persecute us.
That's right.
Okay.
Man, can you read that one more time, bro?
Come on. Yep. This is because the precept to this is in Revelation 12 and 15, where it talks about the serpent coming in like like a flood.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But this is Isaiah 59 and 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun." Okay, because the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. So from like they say, from sea to shining,
From sun to sea,
coast to coast. It says in the middle of verse 19, "When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai shall lift up a standard against him."
Right, and that standard, when you go into that word standard, it means basically a way to escape.
Yeah.
You see, or to disappear. You see, the Lord is going. It's all kind of ways that the Lord is going. Step in for his elect, man. You see, even when you go into that, like it said, they shall fear the name of the Lord. It said, but even before that standard will be lifted, they're gonna fear the name of the Lord, showing you that in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, miraculous things are gonna be taking place on the earth. That when people hear that name being spoken, especially by a particular man, because even though you got some Israelites who know the name, they're not going. That name is not going. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna get no protection when they call upon that name, man.
Right.
It's only a remnant who's actually you know what I'm saying, doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That when they call upon the Lord is gonna actually hear them, man. The Lord is gonna step in. So when these people, when these men, all right, call upon the name of the Lord, fear is gonna fall upon these people, man, because they know that wow, shit, something about to happen. Some divine, godly is about to take place, man.
That's right.
From these men speaking that name, it's already happening, man. You see, and it's just gonna intensify as we continue to get closer until the deliverance out of this second Egypt, man. You know, that's what.
I got that word. Yeah, I got the word. Yeah, that word for standard in Isaiah 59 and 19 is nawas. Okay, it says to flee, escape. Okay, also to put to flight, and that's really the definition there.
Right.
Because when you go down to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, and you get that specific instant where it mentions that, all right, that word in the actual verse is nawasas. Okay, it says a confined stream. Okay, which the wind of the Most High impels. All right, like to impel. So basically, the Lord is gonna impel the winds. You know, He's gonna make shit shake up in the heavens. You know, to where that standard gets lifted up against him, man.
Right.
Okay, basically put to flight. Okay, even when you read in the other one, what's it called, where it talks about the outline of biblical usage.
Yep.
Brown Driver Briggs lexicon. Okay, if you go to this one, it says the breath of the Most High will drive at it or drive it on. Basically, you're gonna get blown away. Okay, so that's that word for standard. You know, which in isn't that that word the was? Is that,
Was.
I feel like that comes up in other scriptures like Isaiah 11. You know, I'm gonna double check and look. You know, see what all it comes up. But you gotta go.
But even when you go into that word, like it said, the Spirit of the Lord, you go into that word Spirit, all right, one of the definitions is imparting a warlike energy, man. So you're going to have a particular man, just like our forefathers, like David and his mighty man, Samson, the judges. You know what I'm saying? The Lord turned the Spirit up in these men to where these men, or a small group of these men, were taking out whole armies, man. Taking out thousands of dudes, man. Just look at Gideon with 300, took out thousands of men.
Yeah.
David and his mighty man. Single men by themselves killing 800 men by himself. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 men. David killing 10,000. You see? That's warlike. That's spiritual power right there, man.
Yep.
For a man to kill, you You know what I'm saying? 800 men by itself.
And then David leaped over a wall.
Right.
That wall wasn't short.
Right.
That was
them
a tall
ancient-
ass wall, you know?
Yeah, them ancient walls, them ancient world walls, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is the power that we're dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? And this warlike energy is going to be imparted on this man. You see, because you got to remember that the Lord is raising up a spiritual army, man.
Yeah.
You see? Right now we like the scriptures say, we worms, man.
Right.
You see? Now ain't the time for us to do anything. Man. See?
Yeah.
The Lord is going when the Lord sees fit, that's when he's gonna turn the spirit up in this man, and you gonna know in that time, man.
Right.
You gonna know in that time when the Lord put the spirit on you, man. You see? When the Esau coming in and getting ready to kick away, these laws being put in place, bro. They about to start coming down on the prophets, bro.
Yeah.
They about to start, this shit ain't being done for nothing, man. This is all fulfilling prophecy. And with seeing this stuff, it should encourage your spirit, man.
Yeah.
To stay in this thing, to keep pushing. But I want to see that power. I want to see that take place. Shit, I want to be a part of it.
Right.
I want the Lord to give me some powers, man.
Man,
so I can
for real.
get busy on these niggas, man. You
What?
know?
Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am the Most High. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord said to be still, man, to have patience and wait upon him. So when the Lord tell you to be still and you get endowed with the spiritual power, the heathens gonna know, like it says, I will be exalted in the earth through his men. Also the chariots with the Habashah and the angels coming back at the same time, man.
Right.
This is something that's happening in our culture, man. This is our history. We should be delighted to get into this, man, because we're the one that fell away from it. So now it's best for you to get back into this, man.
Right. Like I said, the exalting of the Lord starts with his men who exalt his name.
Yep.
So
See?
you are presented by the men of the Lord who presents the Lord. And then from there, the Lord performs his mighty works. So that's what we're doing now. We're letting our people know what's about to happen, but the Lord is getting ready to present his mighty work as he done in the ancient times. Never forget, that was Alashaya, terrible demon-like power that the Lord used to present. That's why they feared when we came up out of Egypt. That's why Rahab the harlot, when we came, she said she heard about the God of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That fear came upon them. And see now, like I say, they don't have fear of the Lord in these days. Because what? Esau tried to downplay the Lord. That's why he want to be like the Most High. But that's about to change because you see what the Lord, that things are happening now. This is what it says in evil in the city. The Lord has not done it. The Lord performed these things. Or he allowed these things to happen.
Man, right. You read about that. Even when David was lamenting Jonathan, you know what I'm saying, and Saul being killed. What did he say? He said they were swifter than eagles, stronger than lions. Bro, you look at a nature documentary right now, it'll tell you a male lion, one swipe can knock your fucking head off your shoulders, man.
Right.
These were men, you see?
Yeah,
So
bite strength, jaw strength, easily crush bones of animals that weigh 10 times more than you.
Right.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at now Eleazar, I think his name was Eleazar, 2 Samuel, when he said he struck down the enemies and his hand cleaved to the sword. He struck down many of enemies.
He became one with that.
He became one with it. You know? It's like a movie, I know that it's called King Arthur or something, where when he put his both hands on his sword, he came to, he was in that zone. You see him, he basically killed 50 men.
Bro. And he had to be moving like that, bro.
Yeah.
They wasn't just standing in line, all right, you next.
No.
You know what I'm saying? No. He had to be moving so fast that these dudes was going in slow motion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Martial
For a
art.
man to kill 800 men like that, come
Flash
on, bro.
Gordon, they like Flash.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's coming, man. You think you just shoot at Esau, and the Lord put the spirit on Esau to make these particular movements for our sake, man, for the elect's sake, bro.
Right.
You see? Because we read about it. We the only one who can tie those movies to the scriptures, man.
That's right.
Where you think Esau got it from, man? Esau ain't just a smart nigga who just come up with ideas, man.
Yeah.
No, Esau get everything from the scriptures, bro.
The Superman, KLM. You know, really, that's Hebrew. You know, that's who he got it from. He got it from what? He got it from the scriptures. He know what Esau know what he does, but see, he'll put it in front of you and say, "I created this." No, he got it from a source.
All right, go ahead, bro.
This is,
But keep in mind, the priest I not had read that about in Isaiah 59 and 19 about that standard being lifted. Okay, when the standard is lifted, This lets you know it's gonna put the man of the Lord on a godly level in fleshly bodies, bro.
Right.
You see, Esau, hey, it's gonna have to be that. The Lord is gonna have to step in, bro. These niggas is talking about making super soldiers. These niggas got robots, drones. You see, the Lord is gonna have to turn it in. How shall I say it, man? And none of the power of the enemy shall hurt thee, man. See, what does that mean, bro? Look at the power that Esau has carnally on this side, bro.
Right.
The weaponry, his military might. You know what I'm saying? The weapon, the microwave weapon, the sound weapons, all this shit, bro. How shall I say it? None of that shit is gonna hurt his elect, man.
Nope.
You know?
And what's great, he got that from Esau. Because all the materials to make that come from the earth.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So Isaiah 41, start at verse 10. It says, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness."
Right. The right hand, like the brother said earlier, was the hour shot. Right. See,
Verse 11, "Behold,
this is the point.
all they that were would insist, and they that strive with thee shall perish."
Right. They shall be as nothing. You go into this word nothing. Strong's H 369. It's anyan. It says nothing, to be not, to have not, or to lack. You see, but at one point in time, a couple of years ago, man, this is how we know that Esau is going into the script. He's going into the blue letter and changing up words because of the Israelites, man.
Right.
At one point in time, I remember the preacher Arhad did a video on it, man. That when you a couple of years ago, when you went into that word nothing in Isaiah 41 and 11, it literally said they will be as mortal men. So if they gonna be like mortal men, what is the elect gonna be like? Gods, man.
Right.
They gonna have God-like power, bro. See, that's gonna take place, man. You know, and that's how we know Esau is going in there. All these update the blue letter. Update, you gotta update all these fucking because he's going in, he's changing shit up, man.
Right.
He's trying to conceal the truth, but it's already out there, bro. You're not gonna waver the elect on believing what the scriptures say, man.
Yeah.
You see? At the end of the day, spiritual powers is coming, and nigga, when you try to come in like a flood, when you bring all that shit that you got, all that power that the Lord gave you on the left hand side, when you bring that in, the Lord is gonna show you that the right hand is stronger, man.
Read that again. It's Isaiah 41 and verse 11. It says, "Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish."
Right, they're gonna perish, man. Keep going.
Verse 12. "Thou shalt seek them, thou shalt not find them. Even them that contended with thee, they that war against thee shall be as nothing."
Right. And you got that saying in the world, you getting down with a nigga and you know you got him. That nigga, you ain't
got
nothing.
nothing for me.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't nothing, man.
dog.
You ain't nothing. Bro, you not gonna do nothing for the elect when the Lord turn those spirits up, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 28. It says, "Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, Yahweh, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary?" See, you can't outdo the Most High. Okay? He sets over, like the scripture said, Daniel,
They got
the
it.
basis of men.
Yeah,
All right,
that
whoever
natural level.
whoever he wants to rule at a particular point in time, he gonna let them rule. Okay? And that's just the will of the Lord. Okay?
Yep.
It says, "There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might,
Right.
he increases strength." Who's those that have no might? Us, in his flesh. We don't have no strength. We don't have no might. Physically, in the spirit, you know, that's where we get the, that's where we have the power with, man.
Right.
You know? Yeah, come on. You got the word already? Yeah. Okay.
So this is that word power in Isaiah 40 and was it 29?
Yes, verse 29.
Okay,
Yes.
done. It's Strong's H 3581. Ka. Right? What's it? Ka?
It's like ka, and then ka.
Ka. It says strength, power. It says human strength. It says strength of angels, power of God, strength of animals. You see?
Strength of animals.
Right.
Because the baboons, how strong is a baboon or a gorilla compared to a human?
Right.
Like 10 times stronger without an exaggeration?
Yeah.
So at that time, you know, we won't get that type of power.
Like I say, you saw that gorilla grab that. There's a video where a gorilla grabbed a man by his ankle. He was running with him, and it was just like he was nothing, like a bag or something. He was just running with him and just moving him like he wasn't nothing.
Especially silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there was a trend last year, I think it was 100 men versus an ape or whatever. The fact that that's even an argument, like people wasn't trying it, but it was like a hypothetical like thought experiment, like who would win, 100 men versus a silverback gorilla?
Right.
You know, because animals, not just you know, gorillas, but they, you know, animals have spiritual power, man.
Yeah, right.
Yep, strength, stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying? They're able to hold their breath for an hour and shit, hibernate, like different things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Birds can fly, like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
So they you know, geckos can crawl up the side of vertical walls and shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, animals have. That's why they got Animal Planet. That shit's like real life.
That's the
superhero
real
stuff.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I say we just read in Isaiah 41, like they're going to be nothing compared to any time what the elect. And you read in Isaiah 40, you go through verse 15,
That's
and
crazy.
say these other nations like a drop of a bucket, meaning there's nothing. So when that standard is listed, then the mother nation is still going to be what? Like it's nothing to the
Like
Lord.
it ain't nothing.
You know, Second Ezra 6 goes into that as well.
Fresh.
You know, they're going to be nothing, and he's going to lift the standard. We're going to be like you say, like angelical power.
Yeah.
You know, and then like you say, that's going to be the Lord is going to be preparing them what to receive those bodies, that incorruptible crown. All right, you know, as we go and we continue, we'll be changed in the twinkling of the eye, but the Lord is going to show that power before we even get to that point.
Hey, I'm gonna go to the lexicon. When you go down to the Hebrew lexicon for the word power, when you go down to number 2, it says the ability or power of doing anything. Literally anything, bro. Like
Fly all day.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother said, the animals, all these particular, you know, each animal has its own spiritual power, but the elect is not gonna be limited to one. The elect is we gonna have it all. Lord willing, I'm part of that number of brothers are, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
The elect is gonna have it all, bro. So when Esau tried to come into the flood, hey bro, look, this nigga got fucking humanoids that can run for hours, bro. You can't outrun that shit, man. Eventually you gonna get tired. So the Lord, like the brother read, the Lord is gonna have to put that spirit in you, man. When the brother gonna keep going, it's gonna say that, man.
Continuing on in verse 30, it says, Isaiah 40 and 30, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. You see, like you said, bro. Basically, immunity, all right, to any type of fatigue. All right, we're gonna have resistance to the elements. Like, you know what? Ultimately, we're gonna be, like it says, the house of David shall be as God.
Yeah.
You know, so we're gonna be, you know what I mean? Of course, eternal life. You know what I mean? We're not gonna be able to be susceptible to harm. All right, that's one of the blessings that, you know, pertain to Israel.
That's yours.
No, take page 2498. Chalak. It says to pass on. But when you go down, it says to change, to substitute, to alter, to change for better, or to renew. You see?
I know, right?
So like it said,
Change
man, it says to
name.
alter. The Lord is going to alter, all right, the spirits in the elect, man. He's going to turn it up to the point to where these men are going to be able to do things that we've never seen before on the earth. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
David was bad. His mighty man was bad man, bro. That wasn't nothing to play with, man. That's why, like, the brother got the precept because they quoted about the house of David, bro. You see? So what the Lord is going to do for the house, because the house of David is being erected once again, man.
Hey.
You see, the Lord is building up the house of David as in the days of old. Northern and southern coming back together under Yahweh's side. All right, through this ministry, the house of David is being raised up. All right, and these times we're coming into, how is going to be endowed into those men. Right?
Amos 9 and 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as the days of old.
Right, he's gonna build it in the days of old, and we're seeing that now. It's starting right here, man.
Yep.
That stick being put back together. You got the northern and the southern kingdom coming together, man. All right, that envy is going. Hey, that envy is being put out. It's leaving. You're seeing the Lord is making us a nation, right? A nation, just like He did with our people in Egypt. He built up our forefathers, and He built up a nation in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, man. And then what? Deliverance came to what the Lord had to deliver them out of that place, man. The Lord is building up a nation again. Because our people are in ruins, man. Our people are destroyed in this place, man. You see, like the scriptures say, if it wasn't for the remnant, all right, we would have been as Sodom and as Gomorrah, roughly first year.